Losing fat doesn't have to be as hard as you think. What if I told you there were 6 habits that make fat loss 10 times easier? These are the exact habits that help me drop 70 pounds of fat without extreme dieting or spending hours in the gym. In this video, I'm going to show you these 6 habits and tell you exactly how you can implement them. But before I get into the 6 habits, let me tell you why habits are so important for fat loss. Most people approach fat loss by just trying to use pure willpower, trying to follow ridiculous diets and brutal workout plans. This can work for a short period of time, but eventually that willpower fades. That's because willpower is a limited resource. Trying to rely on motivation as well as willpower is just going to make you fail. Good habits work so much better than willpower or motivation because it puts systems in place that make it difficult to do the wrong thing and easy to do the right thing. Think about it. If you're 30 or 40 pounds overweight, it didn't just happen overnight. It happened because you had bad habits for a long enough period of time for you to put that weight on. And the reverse is true. If you have good habits for a prolonged period of time, you're going to lose weight. When I was 248 pounds, I tried all the complicated approaches and none of it worked. What worked was a simple approach and following these 6 habits. So let me take you through the 6 habits. The first habit is prioritizing protein at every meal. Most people think that only calories matter. And whilst calories are the most important part of fat loss, what you're eating also matters a hell of a lot. Protein helps in 3 crucial ways. Firstly, it preserves your muscle mass when you're in a calorie deficit, ensuring you're not just getting smaller and you're actually getting leaner. Secondly, it has the highest thermic effect of all macronutrients, which basically means your body burns more calories burning protein compared to carbs and fats. And thirdly, it keeps you fuller for longer, meaning sticking to a calorie deficit becomes 10 times easier. So how much protein should you actually eat? You should eat 1 gram of protein per pound of your target body weight. So if you're 210 pounds and you're trying to become 180 pounds, eat 180 grams of protein per day. To implement this, simply build your meals around a protein source. For breakfast, think egg whites, eggs, or Greek yogurt. And for lunch and dinner, think white fish, lean beef or chicken. Also, keep protein heavy snacks around. My personal favorites are beef jerky and protein yogurts. For me personally, this was an absolute game changer because I went from feeling hungry whilst eating 3,000 calories to feeling full all the time eating just 2,500. The second habit that makes fat loss 10 times easier is hitting your daily step count. Most people focus all of their energy on intense workouts and neglect the power of simply just walking. Aiming for 10,000 steps per day is one of the most effective fat loss strategies in the world. Walking burns a surprising number of calories. For most people, it burns between 300 and 500 calories per 10k steps, and it's not taxing on the body. It's sustainable, low impact, and can be done anywhere. To this day, I still do 10k steps minimum every single day, and to be honest, it's probably my favorite part of my day. At first, your best bet is to break it up into frequent 1 to 2k walks. This way, it won't even feel like you're doing any cardio at all. The key is ingraining walking into your daily routine. Walk to work, walk on your lunch break, take the stairs, it all adds up. Don't underestimate walking. This one habit alone can create a large enough calorie deficit for you to consistently lose fat. The third habit is to consume more low calorie dense foods. This simple switch allows you to eat more food whilst consuming less calories, making a calorie deficit practically effortless. Think about it, what would make you feel fuller? A small handful of nuts for 300 calories or a big packet of salted popcorn for that same 300 calories. So how do you implement this habit? Firstly, start by filling half of your plate up at lunch and dinner with vegetables. Firstly, this keeps you fuller for longer. And secondly, vegetables are good for you, so it's a win-win. Secondly, swap high calorie dense foods for lower calorie alternatives. Think pork bacon to turkey bacon, crisp to salted popcorn, and full fat Greek yogurt to low fat yogurt. Foods like vegetables, fruits, lean protein sources, and low calorie alternatives should become 80% of your diet because it's going to give you the maximum amount of volume for the lowest amount of calories. It's not about restriction, it's about getting the most bang for your caloric buck. You can still enjoy your favorite food and meals just in more filling and voluminous ways. The fourth habit is one that most people overlook, and it's time restricted eating windows. This isn't about starving yourself, it's about giving your body defined periods of eating and fasting. When you give yourself an 8 to 10 hour eating window, you are way less likely to binge eat, and you are way less likely to eat a bunch of shit in the middle of the night. Personally, what worked best for me was an 8-hour eating window from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you're new to this though, start with a 10 to 12 hour eating window. And then once you get used to that, slowly reduce it down to 9 and then 8 hours. Don't overthink the exact timing though. Choose the hours that best fit into your schedule. It doesn't matter when you eat, this just helps you eat less. Habit 5 is incorporating planned refeed days. When you've been in a calorie deficit for a prolonged period of time, your body's metabolism naturally slows down in an attempt to reserve energy, which makes it harder to lose fat towards the end of a cutting period. These refeed days prevent that, and what I did and what I recommend you do is have one of these refeed days every 4 weeks where you're going to eat your maintenance calories. For example, if your calorie deficit lands you at 2,000 calories, on your refeed day, eat 2,500 calories. And personally, I'd recommend eating carbs to fill these calories. By the way, these aren't random cheat days. They are planned strategically for you to be able to stick to your diet for a long period of time. These refeed days have 3 major benefits. Firstly, as I mentioned, they make sure your metabolism doesn't crash so that you can carry on burning fat at the latter stages of a cut. They restore your glycogen stores, meaning you're going to be able to push harder at the gym. And thirdly, they give you a much needed mental break from dieting. When you've been dieting for a prolonged period of time, it can be even more taxing on the mind than the body. So this is really important. Another tip I will give you is always plan these refeed days to be on a training day so you can take the maximum advantage of those added calories. The final habit is actually an accumulation of a few smaller habits, but what it is controlling your food environment, which is going to make it so much easier for you to stay in a calorie deficit. Like we said, willpower is limited, so instead of fighting temptation, remove the temptation altogether. Here's how you implement this. Firstly, remove all of your trigger foods from your home. If it's not there, you literally cannot eat it, so get it out. You should also reorganize your kitchen so that healthy options are at eye level. This sounds stupid, but something that I did was put a fruit bowl on my coffee table. And what this meant late night when I was chilling on the sofa watching a movie, instead of reaching for some crap in the cupboards, what's right in front of me? What's an arm's length? Fruit. Also, use smaller plates. This psychologically tricks your brain into thinking that you ate more food. Again, it sounds stupid, but it works. And finally, pre-portion your snacks instead of just eating from the packet. That way you know exactly how many calories you're eating instead of just stuffing your face and having no idea what you've actually consumed. Controlling your food environment works because it makes it easy to make the right decision, which is what we discussed at the start of this video. When it comes to implementing these habits, do not try and do all of them in one go. That's the mistake most people make. Start with just one habit and do it for a week until it becomes almost automatic. Personally, I'd recommend starting with controlling your food environment because that is going to have the most impact towards your fat loss. After a week, or once the habit becomes almost automatic, add another habit and then continue this process until you've added all 6. This approach is much more sustainable than trying to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. Remember, always being consistent rather than temporary perfection yields the most results. So don't worry about being perfect all the time. Just try and adhere to these habits 90% of the time. So there you have it. Implement those 6 habits and I guarantee you your fat loss will become 10 times easier. If you need any help implementing these, or if you want to accelerate your fat loss, click the link below, book a call with me, and we can have a chat and see if we are the right fit to work together. Other than that, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, tell me why in the comments, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.